Right, Dara, difficult decisions made today, and I suppose difficult watching for the game today. Let's start from the beginning. What were your thoughts on the match today against MK Dons?
Yeah, it was, really, really difficult day. All my thoughts on watching the game today. I was blown away with the support we had. I was blown away watching our fans at training camp, cheering like we were winning the league. There was nearly 2,000 people there today. It did bring a tear to my eye. I nearly took a picture of the TV screen. I was absolutely in awe of that. And, I've had a pop with people for not supporting the club and coming to games in the past, but wow, that was phenomenal. And my thoughts on the game were, again, we underperformed. We didn't play to the best of our ability, and it's just happened far too often over the last kind of 2 seasons, particularly over the last 6 months. If you look at the Bristol City game on Tuesday, the MK game today, we never look like scoring a goal. And yeah, you can always blame it on, well, the strikers aren't scoring goals and blah, blah, blah. But let's be fair, strikers also need, supply. And, it just, to me, it looked like we set out, again, a game plan to try and frustrate the opposition. And, Bristol was actually worse for me than today. Of course, no one likes to lose a so-called derby game and with so many supporters, but Bristol was like, you're setting up not to win, you're setting up not to lose. And I understand where our fans are coming from. I know they're frustrated. I've been as patient as I can, and we've all been patient and supported the gaffer and backed him as much as I could. And he came to the realisation after the game today that he's banging his head against the brick wall as well at times. And I suppose he felt like I did. It was time for a fresh kind of a fresh challenge, and maybe things have gone a little bit stale. It's an easy word to use, but maybe the player. For me, I look at the playing squad. I look at the talent we've got, and the money that's been invested. I look at the training ground. I look at everything, and I ask a simple question. Name one younger player or any player that since the summer has actually improved. You wouldn't be able to name 2 or 3. In fact, I'd go as far as to say they've actually gone the other way, and that doesn't fall on the gaffer. That falls on his coaches as well. We've got a defensive coach. We've got a coach who looks after the attackers, the midfielders, set plays, everything about us. We've got, obviously sports science people. We've got video analysis. So you look at all that together, and that's why I got rid of them all in one fell swoop, because as far as I'm concerned, if the manager's fallen on the sword, they've all got to go as well, because not one of these players has improved since the summer. And that's just not good enough for me. It's not good enough for the football club. And regardless of what some people think or whatever, that I'm losing interest or whatever, I'm not having that. I'm not having a football team or a squad that I put fortunes into playing like that and not improving, and certainly not going out with a fight and to lose like we did today again and like we did on Tuesday. I'm not having that anymore. So, and the same, not just the club and all the management staff, the same goes for the players. They need to get their act together, and they need to get their act together fast. Because I don't suffer fools gladly, and I don't settle for second best. Unfortunately, we've been settling for second best for a bit too long now.
So talk us through the events that followed the match today. Obviously, the game ended. What did you do from that point onwards?
Yeah, I mean, I was working anyway, so I watched the game. I finished watching the game. I then had to do a bit of work. I did my work. I obviously wait to speak to the gaffer. He rings me usually when he gets home to coach. He's in his car. He obviously texted me, apologising for the performance and the way we set out, the way we lost the game. And he was genuine about that. And then obviously I said, look, ring me when you get home, which we usually do. And he rang me and we talked through it. And he just felt, yeah, you know what, it's time to move on. And he's the best out of the players at the moment. And I love the guy to bits. He's done so much for the club. Not just on the field, but where we are off the field, and the stadium, the training ground, the player sales over the years, the promotions, the cup victory. He's a brilliant manager, and I just feel he's been let down by the players, and I also feel he's been let down by his coaches and the staff as well. I really do, because you're only as good as your team, you're only as good as your staff, and he's had a lot of them and a lot of people in specific positions and whatever, and I really, really feel he's been let down by them all, and that's why for me they all have to go. I know some people will call that ruthless. Call me ruthless, that's the way it goes. And I only want winners at the club, and I want people who can improve us. And people, I believe we've got a young squad and some players with unbelievable potential, and they're not fulfilling the potential. They're not showing the true ability, and they're not playing as a team, collectively or individually. So, we came to the agreement, and it was a sad conversation, and I said to him, all your staff have got to go. Do you want me to call them, or do you want to call them? I'll give you the respect that you can make the phone call. And in fairness to him, he wanted to speak to them all himself. And that was
Was that? I mean, you've given the reasons there on why you got rid of the lot of them, but was that a more difficult decision to make? Because obviously that's going to leave it spreading thin on the ground with what's left.
Well, no, it was an easy decision to make because regardless whether they're here or not, we're not improving. So, are we doing more damage? And that's always my worry. I look at the age of our squad. I look at some of the experience in the squad. We're a far better team than our form suggests in the way we're playing as well. When was the last time we actually won a game comfortably? I know we've won a couple of games recently, but you're hiding behind the couch for 98 minutes. When was the last time you sat there in the 90th minute enjoying a 2-3-0 win? I think it's 6 months, is it? I can't remember. Since we beat Crawley or Port Vale and 4-1 and 3-1. So, when it gets to that stage with the money that's been invested and some of the talent we have at our disposal, it's not good enough. It's nowhere near good enough, and that's across the board. So, for me, it was a very easy decision that they all had to go. I know that sounds ruthless, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You're paid to do a job, and your job, whether you're the defensive coach, the first team coach, or whether you're a video analyst, or whether you're the fitness coach, you look at all the injury problems we've had this season, the amount of late goals we can see, the lack of the goals we score to win. All of this can be put down, and you look at it and you go, well, you've got coaches in those positions to improve it. I look at us defensively and absolutely horrible, horrendous. I mean, goals from crosses, things that should be stopped, and I look at other teams defending against us and they get close to us. I look at our defenders who can't head the ball 5 yards or clear the ball 5 yards, and you think, well, are they just bad players, bad defenders? They're not. They're better than that. So everything I look at, I just go, nah, do you know what? Time for a fresh page and a fresh start. So call me ruthless, it doesn't matter. I'm on a mission. I want to get this club back to the championship and higher. I have a real thirst for that. And I set out to do that many years ago, and I want to fulfil it, and I want to finish doing that. So, it was time.
Since October, you've come under a bit of pressure yourself on social media, particularly knowing that you're quite fond of that. How difficult has that been for you to stomach that the pressure that you've had from Posh fans, especially in regards to getting rid of the manager? Because it's been since October, really, hasn't it? The end of October.
Yeah, no. There's been a lot of pressure, but that didn't come into the thinking of what happened today. You have to be stronger as a leader of a club and you also have to bear in mind that 50 people's opinion doesn't reflect thousands of people's opinion. And I've got to be to the fans of the club. I just look at it. I look at the way we're playing. I look at the results. I look at where we are from the playoffs. 14 games left. I look at some of the talent in the squad, and you know what? It's not good enough, and it should be a lot better. And you watch the Bristol City game, and you watch the game today, and we as a football club should be doing a lot better than that. And the way we kind of waved the white flag today, just before half time, 3-0, not good enough. I think the MacAnthony didn't leave third gear today, and I think in the first half, I think our goalie only had 4 saves to make, and we conceded 3. Against Bristol City, he had 3 saves to make, and we conceded 2. And you look at all of those things and you think, you know what, that's not good enough. And the worst still, I hate when I see opposition goalkeepers who could go on holiday for 90 minutes. And that's happened far too many times for my liking this season. And that's not down to the manager, that's down to the players, it's down to all the coaches. So, again, a change needs to happen, and it needs to be freshened up, and that's what I'm doing. So, on we go.
In regards to the players, now's the time for them to step up to the plate, isn't it? I mean, they've now got a point to prove to you.
Yeah, I mean, the players have to look at it and go, well, have we fallen below our standards? Are we giving it all, our all? Are we playing as a unit, as a team? Are we doing everything we can? Because you know what? A lot of people just lost their jobs today. And as usual, football players are never the ones who take the blame, are never the ones responsible. But let's look at our performances. Now, yes, it can be down to coaches, it can be down to managers. Yeah, you can blame the chairman. But I support the management team. I put a lot of money into the club. I buy a lot of young players. And the players have to put their hands up and take responsibility right from the captain all the way through the team. There's a lot of players in our team today we've invested a hell of a lot of money in, and they're not giving us the return on what we've invested. They get paid a lot of money, and that's not good enough from them. And they've got to sit there now, today and think, well, a lot of people have lost their jobs because of us. And I'd like to see, a reaction to that, and not be stereotypical footballers who don't care. I want them to show they do care. And get their act together, because there's no doubt in my mind, this team's good enough. You have 14 games left. They could win 10, 11 of those games, no problem at all. But they've got to start showing it and playing like they want to.
You're bringing in youth team manager Dave Robertson now into the frame. For those out there that don't know much about Robbo, what will he be bringing to the table?
Dave is, Dave's a real Peterborough man through and through. What he'll bring to the table is he'll bring hard work, determination, he'll bring fresh ideas, he'll bring a fresh approach. His youth team has done very well this season under difficult circumstances. He's taking the under-21 team. You know, a lot of his best players have been taken from him and used in the first team squad. He hasn't had them available. He hasn't known them, bitched about it. He's very analytical, Robbo. He's not a former player himself professionally, but he's got untapped ability and talent. And I think he'll basically bring a cohesiveness, a togetherness for the week. You'll get everyone singing from the same hymn sheet. And I, you know, I wish him well. I told him on the phone, you know, go out and make my life really difficult and go and win games. And if you do that, well, you know, I'm hardly going to be rushing to bring someone in, but I will be interviewing other people. He's done a phenomenal job with our youth team. He's brought some great young players through. There's players in that team like Cozzy who are nowhere near performing where they should be. And I think maybe Dave can get the best out of them. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the work he does this week and against Bradford.
How we through the experiences that you've had in the past during situations like this, will you be looking to take this one differently, probably more slower, taking your time with this appointment?
Yeah, last time I rushed in and I tried to appoint as quick as I could. I won't be doing that this time. Dave will take the team. He'll have help from other coaches, some familiar faces. And there won't be a rush from me. I want to get the right manager in. It has to be the right fit for our club. It has to be the right fit going forward. There's all, you know, tonight I've had umpteen agents send in applications for managers. So there'll be no shortage of applications because we're an attractive proposition. Regardless of what people think about me or the club or whatever, I back all the managers I bring in. And they always get back to me. We have a policy that fits with a lot of people and it's exciting. So I want to get a manager in that basically can get us playing the free-flowing football that we all desire. You know, put bums on seats, excite people again, but most importantly, score goals and win games. So, but listen, if Dave does that against Bradford starting from there onwards, you know, all the better.
So there will be no knee-jerk, you know, reactions. So for fans out there that, you know, are worried about this, listen, it's a situation that could be ongoing. It could take days, weeks, months, whatever it takes to get the right man in.
I won't appoint the right person until the right time. I have that person in mind already, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get them straight away. So it's you know, you always have to have a plan B and a C and a D, you know, I do. And you know, it's not something I'll be rushed into. So you know, what I want to see from our players now and the coaching staff that are in charge, I want to see honest endeavour. I want to see application. I want to see us winning games. And I still think we can win a lot of games. And I still think we could have a very good end to the season. But it's down to the players. It's all in their control.
And what do you say to the fans during this period? Because, you know, there's going to be some, I suppose, which are glad with this. They're happy for change.
I say to the fans, after today, I feel inspired. And I say to the fans that if we could take today and the support they showed and take that to the home games we've got left, I think we've got a great chance. And, you know, yes, the crowds have dipped. We've lost a lot of people. It's cost the club an absolute fortune. It's put us in a real awful position the last, 2 months. The lackey gates and the money that's fallen off, and that doesn't help. But I'm not blaming the fans. That's life. I'd like to see them come back. I'd like to see them basically give us a fresh start and let's pretend the season started again. And, you know, come and support us, do their best, and give us the benefit of the doubt. And let's try and earn their trust back. It's a really important period coming up, and if we don't have the fans, it won't be good for the football club.
And finally, we want to, I suppose, pay our respects to Darren, and for those fans out there that aren't, you know, yeah, you know what I mean. You know, these social media people, they're out there, you know, saying this, that, and the other. But we've got to sit back and remember exactly what he's done for the football club.
No, listen, you won't have a bad word for me about Darren, and anyone who does have a bad word, you know, they won't be in my good books. You know, I told him to take some time out. And I told him to come back in the right job. And I'll do everything in my power to get him a job if I have to help or get, you know, if he needed me as a reference. Because I've got so much respect for him and love for him and him and his family. And he's been nothing but brilliant for our football club. And I'll always stand by that. And I've said to him, I'm always here for him as a friend. And, you know, it was an emotional conversation when we spoke. So, you know, I wish him all the best. And I know that's a cliche and everything else, but I genuinely do. And I was absolutely heartbroken that, you know, it hasn't worked out this time. And, you know, it's for whatever reason it hasn't, and we have to move on now. But there's no doubt in my mind we'll be in touch, that's for sure.